Hello, welcome everyone to talking about the Kauffman FastTrac program. Whoever's here, I would love to see you in the chat. And so if you could chat and just tell me your name and where you're from, and that will be great. I'm so excited to be sharing with you the overview of the Kauffman program, and just want to get an idea of how many people are here and who is here joining me today to talk about this exciting program that helps entrepreneurs at, I want to say, the first, idea stage or first year in business, to help them really lay a strong foundation for their business and to help them grow their business. So if there's anyone out there, please chat me, and I'm going to share my screen so that we can get started. Once again, my name is Jason Walker. Hopefully you saw my profile on Hopped In. I'm an experienced entrepreneur. I've been doing business since 1997, as you can tell by the gray hair on my face. I've got a wide and varied background. I've got a background in information technology, marketing, insurance, if you can believe it, product development, product sales. I'm a two-time award winner for National Marketing Awards for product sales and product development. Let's see, I'm a Goldman Sachs 10,000 small business graduate. I'm working with ISM and have been with ISM for almost a year now. And so I am so excited. And one of my joys is the Kauffman FastTrac program. So I'm so excited to share this with you. So just give me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen. And for those of you who are out there, please just throw a chat and we'll go from there. Let's see. I've got Ferris. I've got, all right. So let's go. Share. All right. Can everyone see my screen? That is great. So if you're out there, if you can see my screen or you can't see my screen, the chat is the way we communicate. So please put it in the chat, and then we'll just go from there. So this is the Kauffman FastTrac program. ISM has partnered with Kauffman to bring this program to people and to aspiring entrepreneurs to help them to develop their business idea and help them lay a strong foundation to get their businesses going. All right, so let's move on. All right, so I gave a little introductions about myself. Welcome. And again, if you're out there, please put something in the chat. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Kauffman FastTrac, and then I'm going to have time for Q&A, because I'm sure people, as I get into it, they will questions will start appearing in the chat, and then we will go from there. So is everyone excited? I know I am excited to be sharing this with you. Let's see. Let's go. So here's here today again, just if anybody's out there. And then I'm more interested in if you're what stage of business you are in and where you are, whether you're an idea stage or whether you're a startup or whether you're in growth stage with your business. And it doesn't matter which level you're in. I'm just curious to see what level of entrepreneurs I have with me joining with me today. All right, next slide. So International Strategic Management, I'm going to give you just a quick little background of ISM, the company we work for, and the host of Global Entrepreneur Week for the state of Michigan and Oakland County. Let's see, ISM, we have what we call 5 bubbles or 5 pillars. We're about globalization, entrepreneurship, technology, and education. But the bubble I want to bring your attention to or make you pay attention to is the one that says community. We are very involved in the community. We're focused on, because we believe that small business, and this is the statement that everyone makes, that small business is the driver of the community. No matter what nation, no matter what country you're in, small business drives the community. And just a little bit about us is here's where we are. ISM has a global reach. We have done business on every continent, with the exception of Australia. We're going to get Australia next. So we're in over 60 countries, and we've done everything from incubators, startup accelerators, and things like that, and as well as Kauffman as well. Just a little bit of, we've serviced over 10,000 organizations. Some of them you may recognize, some of them you may not. We've got, here in the United States, we've got a big organization that's Tech Town here in the state of Michigan, the Westin Hotels, which is all over the world, the U.S. Army, let's see, and a few others, Wayne County Community College. We work well and do a lot of work with community colleges and community organizations. So just a real quick look, and you can find all of this information at www.myisminc.com, the website address right here at the bottom. So if you want more information about ISM, you can see that there. All right. So just quick numbers of where we're at and things like that. So we're now at 60 countries touched, which is a good thing. And so we have 75 high official visits. But the thing I want to point out too, because not only are we, as you can see, one of our things is community. As you can see, we've donated over $250,000 to local entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs in the various communities we serve, as well as we serviced over or have assisted over 6,000 youth entrepreneurs, because we believe in the youth as well. And we have a program called Global Trade Mission, which is specifically targeted for the youth, that you can find information also on myisminc.com. So nice. How we're doing? Is everybody good? All right, let's keep going. And there's a little bit of delay in when I click the slide and when it shows up on the screen. So if you're having a little delay, no worries. I'm aware of it. But we're going to keep going. So just talk a little bit about Kauffman. And again, Kauffman is when I was first exposed to Kauffman, it was like, oh, it's just like any other, business plan program, business startup program, or anything like that. But it's a little bit more, right? Because Kauffman, one of the things I found out quickly, and Kauffman also says this, is that it's a program for entrepreneurs, written by entrepreneurs. So this is a very comprehensive program that will not only cause you to think more about your business from a different perspective than you have thought about it before, and then also is going to give you the tools that you need to really work your business and really work your business plan. And the thing I like about the Kauffman FastTrac program, that once you start the program or get enrolled or become part of the Kauffman family, you get access to their portal for life, right? And so I don't know why my slide is cutting off the last bullet point, 2 major areas. So there's 2 major areas in the Kauffman program. There's the actual Kauffman program, and then there's a workspace, and we're going to get into that in just a little bit. So I'm checking out the chat. I'm going to pause like 2 seconds to check out the chat to see if there's any questions in the chat, and seeing none, we're good. So I'm just going to put in the chat real quick and say, please ask any questions, because I'll be willing to answer. And then also ask, give me your name and where you're from, or if you don't want to give me your name, just give me where you're at in your business stage, idea stage, startup, or growth. Please ask any questions. I will be more than happy to answer. All right. So, all righty. So we're good? We're good. All right, let's keep going. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. All right. So again, Kauffman FastTrac program is all online. So there's no physical workbooks or anything like that. There's nothing that you necessarily have to carry around. There's not a big business plan workbook or anything like that. It's all online. The program keeps track of everything that you're doing, and as well as it allows you to go back and edit things, because as you learn more and as you go through the program, as we've been teaching this Kauffman program for many years now, we often find that once people start into the program, they have so many revelations and so much information is coming to them that they start thinking about their business another way. And again, once you get access to this, once you sign up for the Kauffman program, which you can do through ISM, you get access to their portal for life. So let's keep going. So Kauffman has a very distinct learning model that they use when you're going through the Kauffman program, right? So it's basically a peer-to-peer environment. Even though I'm doing a lot of talking, I'm one of the Kauffman instructors for ISM, doing an actual Kauffman class. The challenge is for you to talk about your business, talk about your business idea, talk about target customers, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, and talk about all the things related around your business. Whereas today I'm doing a lot of talking, doing a lot of giving them an overview of the Kauffman program. But in the actual class, the goal is to get the participants to talk, to get the participants to learn from each other, which is the peer-to-peer environment, as you can see at the top of the bubble, right? And so there's also a coaching and mentoring aspect of the Kauffman program. There's breakouts into small groups, but since we do a lot of it virtually, so there will be virtual breakout rooms. And then there's also the ability to network with other like-minded business owners and things like that. And there's also the ability to connect with community resource, because a lot of the people or a lot of the organizations that put on Kauffman are there for aspiring entrepreneurs in their community. So I just want to get you to look at the center of the slide here. And so the Kauffman learning model is we introduce the concept. So there may be some concepts that you're not aware of, or just some new concepts that you're just learning. And then what we do is we practice the concepts, right? So Kauffman usually occurs in 2 sessions. So if we're talking about target customers and marketing, right? And how to achieve your ideal customer or talk to your ideal customer. So we'll introduce those concepts. The next session or the second half of the session, we'll practice those concepts. You'll get with your peers in the class. You may get with a coach in the class or a mentor in the class to talk about what that is and what that means to you. And then hopefully from that point, you'll go on and apply the concepts that you've just learned. So it's a great learning model. I'm a little bit biased because I'm a big Kauffman FastTrac fan, and I've been in business. Like I said, I started business in 1997, and I took the Kauffman program to learn how to be a facilitator of the Kauffman program, and it brought forth some things that I never even thought about. And I've started multiple businesses and things like that, but it gave me the FastTrac program gave me the opportunity to look at my business from a different perspective. I would say that would be a good way to say it, to look at your business from a different perspective. So let's go and let's find out about the Kauffman program. Excellent. Let me just check the chat before I go on to the next slide. And let's see. Let's see. Does anyone have any questions? No. Let's see. I'm trying to see, is there any questions in the chat? No, there are not. So let's keep going. Here's a program overview of the Kauffman program. So every attendee of the Kauffman program will have access. And so there's, again, 5 pillars for them, 5 pillars for ISM. There's a commonality there. So there's the 5 pillars. We talk about ideate. There's going to be position. There's going to be commit, refine, and launch. And so when you get into the Kauffman program, this is where you'll go. And then we're going to break down for you just so you can get an understanding of what each module contains, what each module does, and things like that, so you can make a good decision whether or not this would be a good program for you. I encourage you to check out Kauffman on the web, Google it, you can find it. and get more information. But we're going to do a little bit more deep dive. That's going to be a high level overview. We're going to do a little bit more deep dive just for the simple fact because I'm a facilitator of the Kauffman program. So again, ideate, position, commit, refine, and launch. And let me check before I move on. Is there any questions about the 5 pillars I'm talking about? No. All right. So we'll move on to the next slide. Right. Second slide second area. Remember, I mentioned there were 2 areas. I'm not sure why my slide cut off on that screen, but there were 2 areas. There's the program area or the Kauffman workbook space or the program space. And then there's a workspace, right? And in the workspace, you've got the business plan. You've got access to a business model canvas. You've got a pitch outline that you can use, and then there's financial forecasting tools that you can use as you go through the Kauffman program. And then activities, everything you do in this sections feed all together. And here's the beauty, and I saved this for this moment. Here's the beauty. When you work in the Kauffman workbook, or should I say the online platform, because it's more than a workbook. It's actually an online interactive platform that helps you walk through crafting your business idea and also developing a business plan. And I always tell my students and the people attending my courses is that if you do the work in the Kauffman workbook, and more importantly, save the work in your Kauffman workbook, at the end of the session, you will have a functional business plan. It may not be totally complete, but you will have a foundation of a business plan to continue to develop. And in some instances, depending on how much work you put into the Kauffman workbook, I want to quit calling the workbook Kauffman online platform, you can have a finished business plan so that you can go on and do the things you want to do on your entrepreneurial journey, right? So before I go on, I always like to check the chat so that I can make sure there aren't any questions around and make sure that I'm not leaving anybody behind. See, there's no one in the questions. All right, so let's go on. Course content. Here's the course content. The content is organized into 5 sections, 5 pillars that reflect the phases of launching a business. So Kauffman is really good for if you're in the idea stage or you're in the startup stage, trying to figure everything out. If you're in the growth stage, it will help you because it will help you kind of relook at your business. And because we've had business owners that went through the Kauffman program that have been in business for years, and it helped them relook at their organizations and relook at their businesses from a different perspective. So even though the Kauffman Foundation say that their sweet spot is, idea stage and first year, second year entrepreneurs, there have been business owners that have been what we would call established businesses that have went through the program, has gotten a lot of information out of the program. So each section, remember we talked about idea, position, commit, refine, and launch. Each section begins with an overview and includes a welcome video. The online platform is not just text and filling in boxes and things like that. And I'm going to show you, and I hope to show you if we have enough time, I hope to show you just like a live Kauffman platform, online platform, so you can take a look at it. But each section in the Kauffman platform, there's videos, there's links to other things that's on the web. It's all about Kauffman. The FastTrac program is all about providing you the information and the tools you need to successfully develop your business idea and develop your business plan. It's made up of modules, and modules have topics, so you can kind of see kind of the breakout right here. So ideate is the section, and within ideate, there are modules, and up under those modules, there are topics. So any questions? Let me look in the chat real quick. All right, let's keep going. So ideate consists of, we're going to take a look at the five pillars or the five sections, ideate, talks about the entrepreneurial lifestyle. It gives a great overview. And one thing I like about the ideate module is it challenges you to think about what it is to be an entrepreneur. And what it is to want to be an entrepreneur. And it goes through a very deep dive to asking personal questions about yourself and about the business, and all the way into talking about, has you thinking about the impacts on your family, the impacts on your personal life and things like that. So ideate is kind of the what we say the starting point of the Kauffman process or the fast track process. And then from there, you go from idea to business concept. So entrepreneurs, I'm an entrepreneur. We all have these ideas. We all have this thing or this problem we're going to solve, or this need we want to meet in the marketplace, whether it's you want to be a baker, or you want to be a consultant, or you want to be a repair place or something like that. The part of the ideate process is to help you take that idea or refine your idea and bring it into a business concept. We'll talk about whether your idea is viable based on doing market research, based on looking at your ideal customer and things like that. We talk about going from an idea to business concept in a very methodical way, so that you can understand not only what it means to be an entrepreneur, but also how to take your idea and build a framework around it, so that you can start going to in launching your business. So before I go to the next slide, I always like to pause for questions, especially in this type of format. I always pause for questions because I can't see anybody if they're raising their hand or things like that, or see the looks on people's faces. So let me just look in and see if there are any questions. No. Okay, great. And so I'm just going to just post again. If you have any questions, please ask. Questions? Please ask. All right. So let me fix my spelling real quick. If you have any questions, please ask. All right. So let's continue. Next, after you get ideate, after you get your business idea fleshed out, after you take a look at what it means to be an entrepreneur, now we go into position. So every business has a position. We'll talk about whether are you a low-cost provider, are you a mid-tier, do you want to be a luxury or excellent, or not excellence, but a luxury provider. So talk about who's your ideal customer. We're going to get into a little bit of your business model, how you're going to make money, right? And things like that. We're going to talk about pricing strategies. We're going to talk about legal strategies, what type of business you want to be. Are you aspiring to be a C corporation or a corporation or Inc., or is it an LLC? Or is it a DBA? And depending on what country or where you're from, those classifications may be a little bit different, but we talk about legal strategy. And the final thing we talk about in the position section is business exits. And every time when I get to this section, it's, I get a bunch of blank looks, because like, business exits, what are you talking about? I'm just starting out. What do you mean business exits? When people think business exits, I think they have a misconception of what that is. A business exit could be just you simply want, after 10 years, 20 years, or after you reach a certain profit level, or after you reach a certain size, you want to sell the business. So that for the owner, founder, that is considered a business exit. So those are the type of things we talk about. Or your business exit as the owner and founder or co-founder. As the owner, founder, or co-founder, your business exit may be, I want to leave the business to my family, or to my children, or to a charitable foundation, or whatever that is. So those are the things. Have you heard the phrase plan with the end in mind? That's what business, or that should I say, that module on business exits is talking about. Planning with the end in mind, whether it's to sell the business or leave the business to your family. And so before we go on to the commit section, I want to see if there are any questions in the chat. All right, let's keep going. Commit, right? So hopefully you can see by now kind of the logical progression this is making. You got the idea stage, right? You're figuring out what you want to meet, what you want to do as an entrepreneur, kind of what your business is, who's the ideal customer, where you kind of, what I like to say, where you want to play, right? What sandbox you want to play in, or what playground you want to play in, where you want what is the business concept, the business idea, where you want it to be. And then we go right into the next phase. We talked about position, talking about where it is, what level, things like that, talk about pricing and things like that. Now, hopefully we've got all of that figured out. And now it's time to commit. It's time to do, take all those things we've talked about and ideate and position and commit to those things that you've written down that are being captured in the Kauffman online platform. And so now in commit, we talk about how do you get to those ideal customers? Is it face-to-face? Is it online only or internet based? How do you get to those ideal customers? And then the second thing, distribution and sales. How do you get your product to your ideal customer? How do you sell to your ideal customer? And then things like that to help you start realizing and putting what I like to say, the action steps to the business idea, the action steps to say, okay, I'm going to be a luxury brand. I had one young lady in a Kauffman class, a few months ago. She was a luxury shoe brand. Right. So her distribution and her sales process will be a little bit different than someone who is just doing, pencils on the internet, right? Her methods and her operations and her mode of getting to her ideal customer will be different. So we're going to do in the commit section. I always say the commit section is where the hard work begins, because now we've got an ideate. We're all talking about our business idea. And we're all talking about, it's the entrepreneurial dream, and then position. We flesh out the entrepreneurial dream a little bit more. Now commit is where we start getting into how do you make that dream a reality. So hopefully, now you're getting excited as I'm getting excited about potentially taking a fast track program with ISM. So now the next thing is financial management. There's one young lady who I admire. She's a financial wizard. She's part of the ISM team as well. And she always says, so I'm going to borrow her slogan a little bit. She says in businesses, there's two languages, right? You have to speak two languages in business. The first language is the marketing, sales, ideal customer, operations and things like that. And then the second language is finances. So in the commit section, here's where we take a deep dive into financial management. You learn about the financial statements. As a business owner, you need to review some financial and accounting formulas that you need to be aware of. We like to, during the ISM programs, we like to bring in an accountant or a CPA to talk to our scholars about finances and about their business and about managing costs and things like that. Because as you can see, so one of the next things in the commit section are sales projections, right? How do you come up with sales projections? And people go, and usually when we get to this section, people go, I haven't even started yet. How do I do sales projections? You do market research. You talk to your potential customer. You go, well, if you got a product, say you're selling, bottled juice or whatever, or organic juice or natural juice. So you talk to your ideal customer and say, would you pay $10 for this? Would you pay $5 for this? And so you can start building out your sales projections and start understanding what the finances and the financial management cycle. And then we also talk about cost projections, right? So we'll use our juice bottle example, right? You would say, okay, the bottle, each bottle costs me 10 cents. The juice is 50 cents. I'm using small numbers just to keep it simple. The juice is 50 cent, right? So we're at 60 cent, right? And so advertising and marketing costs me $10, right? And distribution, 10 cents. So I'm now up to 70 cents, right? So let's say, distribution cost me another 10 cents. Now I'm up to 80 cents, right? And so if I'm thinking that I'm going to sell my bottle of juice for $1, I know I'm using small numbers, but if I'm going to sell my bottle of juice for $1, I've only got 20 cents to cover operating expenses, salaries, and any other things that go along with running my business. So sales projections and cost projections are so for a new entrepreneur or an entrepreneur that's just starting out, can be a little bit tough. But for an established entrepreneur, it helps you look at your numbers in kind of a different light, which is what I like. So before I go into intellectual property and complying with laws and regulations and contracts, I want to see if there are any questions in the chat. Because I like to answer questions when people ask them. Okay. All right. So nothing's in the chat. All right. So intellectual property, this is for people who have creative things and things like that. You might want to trademark something. You might want to copyright something. You might want to patent something. This is where we talk about that and just give a high level overview. And I say this, and I even said in my overview sessions, that if you are thinking that you need some type of intellectual property protections, whether it's a software or whether it's artistic design or whether it's a program or anything, talk to a very good intellectual property attorney. That goes without saying. There have been many horror stories about people losing their programs, their designs and things like that because they didn't properly follow the steps in protecting their information or protecting their ideas and things like that. And then finally, in the commit section, we talked briefly about complying with laws, regulations, and contracts, right? So basically just talking about, make sure you're in compliance with whatever local, city, state, national, country laws where you're operating. Make sure you're in compliance. And then also we talk a little bit about contracts, what they are, what they achieve, just at a very high level. And again, if you're entering into a contract or planning to enter into a contract or use contracts in your organization, make sure you get with a good business attorney, right? Which is different than an intellectual property attorney. Make sure you get with a good business attorney to have them review the contract. If you're not quite familiar with how, the contracting, because contract language is a different language, to help you review and make a good decision, because the ultimate thing is you don't want to get caught in a bad contract. Great. Sounds good? Good. Let's go on. So before I go to the next slide, let's see if we got any questions in the chat. No. All right. Let's keep going. Refine. So now we've got our idea. We've kind of figured out what we are, who we are in position, kind of figured out our ideal customer, kind of figured out where we're at. And so then we went to commit, and we dug deep into our finances, dug deep into our business model, dug deep into our sales and cost projections and things like that, and talked about whether or not we need intellectual property, or whether or not we need a business attorney. And now we go on to the next step, which is refine. So refine is exactly what it is. It's you're refining all the assumptions, all the research information. You reviewed all of the information to start really getting down, what I like to say, getting down to the nitty gritty, or getting down to the finer details of your business idea, or and developing your business plan. So in Refine, we're talking about building your organization, right? No one is a team of one. Right? Everyone needs help. I was watching something just the other day, just yesterday, as a matter of fact, where Warren Buffett was speaking, and he was saying, "I got a great business partner." Right. And his business, and they've been business partners for, I guess it's almost 30, 40 years now. Right. And so no one is a team of one. There's always, here in the United States, we say there's no I in team. Right. And so that you have to have a good organization and a good team around you to help, what I like to say, to help strengthen your strengths and to help strengthen your weaknesses, right? So maybe you're a good tactician, or maybe you're an excellent baker, right? You're an excellent baker. No one can touch whatever you bake. There's no competition. You are the best. But maybe you're not so strong in marketing. So it would be good to have, so you need to add someone to your team, not necessarily an employee, but just partner with someone that can help you with your marketing. And then you have to make the decision whether that's an employee, whether that's a contractor, whether that's an organization that I work with to help me with my marketing and things like that, right? And then the next one is your cash needs and when you might earn a profit. We talk about break even, how much you need to sell or how much you need to do to break even just to cover your costs. And then we talk about what do you need to do to make a profit, to where you can actually start, as most entrepreneurs know, actually start paying yourself and actually start putting money back into the business and things like that. So we really look at that, because it should not be that the entrepreneur, the owner, founder, co-founder, whatever that is, they should have a plan in place. Again, planning with the end in mind. Should have a plan in place to make sure that they're getting paid in the business, right? And so then we also go into all those financial statements and all that financial information and all sales projections and cost projections and things of that nature. In Refine, we look at those assumptions and look at them again and look at them again and say, does this make sense? I remember a story that was told. The young lady, she was starting what was she starting? She was starting I think it was some type of bakery or some type of food business, right? And she was saying, and when we started talking to her, and the person she was going to seek funding from started asking her, so, okay, I see your sales projections. How are you going to do this? How are you going to achieve these sales projections? And she basically said, I'm going to work 10 hours a day, 365 days a year. Right. I know that's an extreme example, but is that realistic? Right. We might need to refine those assumptions. Right. So that, although that is an aspirational goal, and some of us do work every day, but realistically, 10 hours a day, 365 days, where's the time for birthdays? Where's the time for weddings? Where's the time? What if you get sick? So now that jeopardizes your numbers. So refining your financial assumptions. And then also the second half of that is seeking funding. What do you need to do? What are the areas you need to focus on if you're going to, you want to go to a startup, an investor, a venture capitalist, an angel investor, get a loan from a bank or get a loan from a community development organization and things like that. And then the last part of Refine, we talk about putting together your business plan. And again, just remember, I said that if you walk through, scholars who attend our programs, if they put the time and effort, and I'm going to say that again, time and effort in at the end, they will have a functional business plan. So this part, we just talk about the components of a business plan, what it is, what it isn't, and all of that information is available on the World Wide Web, so you can Google it or search for it. But we delve a little deeper and say, hey, here are the components. Here's what you want to make sure you include in your business plan. And the beauty of it is, usually the teachers and mentors and coaches in ISM's Kauffman trainings are all entrepreneurs and all people who have been through what I call the entrepreneurial, what I want to say, grind or entrepreneurial process, right? And so before I go on to the last slide, which is launch, let me see if there are any questions in the chat. See. There are none. So let's keep going. I must be doing a good job. All right, excellent. And again, don't hesitate to ask any question. There's no such thing as a crazy question or a silly question, because I am here to help you understand what the Kauffman program is and how it can assist you in assist you in developing a foundation for your entrepreneurial journey. That's what I want to say. All right, so we're on to the last section, launch, and we're going to talk about the modules in that section. And again, I just want to encourage you, have questions, please put them in the chat. All right, so launch has finally come up. Launch is exactly what it says. Launching the organization. Launch is about, okay, I've done the work in ideate. I've done the work in position. I've completed the work in commit. I've looked at all of the assumptions, all of my guesses, right? All of the things I said, which kind of makes sense for the business I'm trying to do and for the market I want to go after, and for the my profit projections, my costs, my sales, things like that. Now I'm ready to launch. Right? I'm ready to open the doors. I'm ready to put out the open sign. I'm ready to bring up my website on the internet. I'm ready to post on Facebook or Instagram or whatever makes sense for your business, because we talk about that in position and commit. What social media channels you should use, what makes sense for you, and then now we're launching, right? And so now we take a shift from the kind of the operational setup process of looking at the business. Now I like to say we go now to the 30,000 foot view of the business, where we talk about how you're going to lead the organization, right? So yeah, we know we're going to do the day-to-day. We're going to, do the functions that we need to do to run the business and operate the business. Now we take a little shift, because not only are you the owner, founder, or co-founder, you're also the leader of the organization. And I always tell entrepreneurs to, if you're the founder, owner, or one of the co-founders, own that, right? Own that, because the people working for you are looking for you to lead the organization. So make sure that you not only be the person that is, as they say, person that is there first, opening up the door, therefore the first one to arrive to the office and the last one to leave, but you also have to lead your employees, lead your contractors you're working with, lead the other organizations you may be partnering with. You're the leader of the organization. So we talk about how to lead your organization, whether you're an organization of two, organization of one for now, because whatever you do, is you notice the second point sets the culture of your business, right? So whether it's, if you're a business of one, a single owner business, and you do everything, and right now you're at the stage where you have to do everything, whatever you do, then when you start bringing on employees, that's going to set the culture for them. So if you're late to, which is something simple. If you're late to a meeting or late to, whatever, right? Or do something that's not quite, you wouldn't want your employees to mimic. When you bring on employees, they're going to mimic it. So you are the leader. You are the owner, co-founder, founder. So you are responsible for setting the culture of the business. And I want to offer a warning that if you don't set the culture, your employees will set the culture for you, right? And so last 2 points, measuring and analyzing financial results. Those are the things where we take a look at all of the financial stuff we have done in position and commit and look at them and say, okay, how do I know when I'm doing well in my business from a financial standpoint? Because I often hear entrepreneurs, and I used to make the same mistake myself. I was like, oh, everything is great. We've got money coming in every month. All the bills are paid and things like that. But when I was a young entrepreneur, I'm still young, but when I was a young entrepreneur, I thought that was great. We've got money to pay. Everybody's being paid, things like that. I'm not behind on my rent. I'm not behind on my suppliers, things like that. But when I got exposed to financial statements and financials, things like that, it's like, yeah, we're paying everything, but we're ending up every month behind in the red. So this section talks about how do you measure where you're really at, or where do you want your business to really be if you're an idea stage or startup business. And then the last point we talk about is process optimization. Businesses are successful because they have very defined processes on how they do things, whether it's how you talk to the customer, what boxes you deliver your product in. Very defined process. And I always tell entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs is that you want to be able to give someone a manual and they can run your business without you being there, because that's the whole point, right? Excuse me. We're processes. You want your business to be able to run without you having to be there, 7 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day, right? So that's process optimization. So that is the Kauffman FastTrac program. Ideate, position, commit, refine, and launch. And before I go to the next slide, and you know me, I want to see if there are any questions in the chat. All right, I don't see any questions in the chat. Let's go to the next slide. So, just as a wrap up, International Strategic Management, not only we offer the Kauffman FastTrac program, we also offer a program called the Resilient Entrepreneur, which specifically focus on keeping your business sustainable and growing your business. And actually, the Resilient Entrepreneur program is a direct result of the impacts of the global pandemic that it has had on small business owners. So Resilient Entrepreneur is a great program. And then Growth Wheel is another program we offer for entrepreneurs. It's more so for the established business, the business that's been the organization that's been in business for at least 5-6 years, that has that's generating a profit, has a good, strong customer base, and now they're looking to either expand or grow their business and take it to the next level, right? As you can see in the text I typed, right? And then the good thing about ISM, or the thing I should say, it's a good thing. To me, it's a great thing. One of the things we offer when you take courses with ISM, there's a coaching and mentoring component included. So you're not just getting the information, you're not just doing the information dump on you, but you also have people like myself, experienced entrepreneurs, people who have been certified and things like that to help coach you along the way through the process, whether it's the Kauffman FastTrac, whether it's the Resilient Entrepreneur, or whether it's Growth Wheel. And you can find more information. Actually, what I would like for you to do is send an email to programs@myisminc.com so that it then say, hey, I'm interested in the Resilient Entrepreneur, I'm interested in Growth Wheel, or I'm interested in Kauffman FastTrac. So one of our program coordinators can get your information and we can get out to you kind of when the next cohorts are starting for all three of these programs. And if you're an organization that is here watching this presentation or overview of the Kauffman FastTrac, we also work with organizations as well to help them launch these programs for the communities that they are serving, right? And so let's go to the next slide. Question and answers. Let me take a look at the chat, even though I've been talking about checking for questions and answers throughout the process. I want to make sure that I give time for people to ask questions. So let me look through the chat and see if there's anything. I don't see anything. All right. So let's go on. So I think that is my time with you guys today. There's a QR code that will take you straight to My ISM Inc. So you can just take your phone and scan the QR code and get the information that you need. And I want to say thank you for allowing me to take the time to go over the Kauffman FastTrac program with you. It's a great program. If you're an aspiring entrepreneur or you're a first-year entrepreneur, it's an excellent, like I said, I may be a little biased, but it's an excellent program for you to go through to take, and I like to say to take a different look at your business, to take and also an all-encompassing look at your business so that you can understand all the components that makes a successful business. So again, thank you, Jason Walker, myisminc.com. You can check out our website. My email address is jason.walker@myisminc.com. And again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. It was truly my pleasure to share this information with you. And before I go, I want to check the chat one more time. And there are no questions in the chat. You all have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much.